Alright, welcome everyone to some more Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup Deep Elf Fire Elementalist tutorial. I actually wasn't going to record today, but then I burned my arm, and I was like, huh, that's right, I have a Deep Elf Fire Elementalist to play. Right now the burn is forming a very nasty red mark on my arm. It's quite painful, but hopefully that will only fuel the fires of my desire to win this game. Alright, that's enough puns for today. That's enough stuff. Let's start with, what are we doing today? Let's see. We're on depth 3. Gotta do depth 4, then 5, then our third rune as the Deep Elf Fire Elementalist. Let's talk briefly about the 3 runes first. Okay. So late depths is pretty dangerous. It's fairly dangerous, but mostly okay. A lot of the time you can kind of just, like mindlessly play through it. It's kind of fairly all the same once you go from depths 1 to depths 5. I'd say the only exception to this would be when you have too many like large full floor vaults. I would suggest skipping those, but again, it's up to you whether you want to skip or explore those. That's fine either way. Once you get to depths 5, of course you'll have to fight the draconians and whatnot, and the dragons in the depths, in the Zot vault that comes out. That could be potentially quite dangerous. Be careful of them. We're going to be doing that today. And then, finally, we'll have to do our third rune as a mage. For the 3 runes that you could potentially get for your third rune, you're going to look at Slime, Abyss, and Vaults. And I'll briefly go over them right now. Slime tends to be the most straightforward and the most common mage rune, simply because it's the one that requires a short burst of really high damage for you to kill the royal jelly. That's what mages obviously excel at, doing really short bursts of really high damage, and especially in AoE, which most melees lack, unless they're using axes. And even then, it's really not ideal for you to go and deal with the royal jelly's spawns with an axe, because you'll get corroded, even if you have resist corrode, and all that stuff, and you'll get surrounded and so on and so forth. But anyway, Slime, like always, tends to be the most regular third rune. Vaults is another one that is potentially good. However, again, as I said, it's kind of dangerous to go into Vaults 5 because you always have that fear of getting locked out, of getting marked, and it is definitely a battle of attrition, which is what mages tend to really be quite poor at, because of course they have mana as their limiting factor, and their health is kind of, their quote-unquote health is a bit harder to restore than your classic fighters. Fighters will have access to heal wounds potions, they'll have access to, might as their like big damage thing, whereas mages only have brilliance, which is kind of the same, but not really. It's kind of like not quite as simple. You'll also not be able to like having regen isn't quite the same as having mana regen. It's a lot more difficult for a mage to kind of get through all vaults, but you can still do it. It's very doable, and on certain characters I'll still go into vaults if I don't have resist corrode, just to get my third rune. The last one on the list, Abyss. In previous versions, Abyss would have been my go-to rune. In fact, I was probably in the minority when I played Crawl at like the last time I played Crawl, like at the top. I think I came second in like 0.18 or something like that for the tournament. But at that time, when I was playing at my peak and I was playing the most, I was doing Abyss every single game because of the way that Abyss worked. However, something changed in the spawn rate, I feel, and also the removal of teleportation wands and all that stuff kind of made it so that you get a lot less teleport than you usually would, meaning it was a far less effective strat once that was removed. So I no longer do Abyss. Abyss is even worse than Vaults now for a mage, because you can't just continuously teleport. I only have like 6 teleport scrolls, and this is a fairly average game. You're not going to get that many teleports in this game anymore. You used to be able to get a lot, but now you get really not that much. But yeah, your mana will have a lot of difficulty regenning while you're killing all this stuff that's like immune to fire, immune to whatever, immune to poison, like all that stuff. They're coming at you from every angle, you can't really run away, it's just a pain in the ass to deal with, so you really wouldn't do Abyss as your third rune as a mage. I actually tried to do it in the tournament with another Deep Elf Fire Elementalist because it was just a Nemlex choice or something. It might have not been a Deep Elf Fire, I think it was Deep Elf Conjurer, but it was like either Nemlex choice or really highly scored. And effectively, I almost died like 3 times trying to do Abyss because I just couldn't have the mana or health to deal with it. I got malmutated really badly, and I was just like, I can't kill things fast enough to get out of these mutations. It was terrible. So basically, the moral of the story is, if you're going to do your runes, probably don't do Abyss. Try to avoid vaults, but do Slime if you can, because Slime tends to be pretty easy. But yeah, that's enough talking about the runes for now. We're going to go through that first. Let's get into depths. We were in the middle of depths 4, I believe, yeah. So, again, I don't really remember too much about what was happening in the last floor, but as you can see, there's this massive, big vault that's taking up most of the floor. I think it's actually wise for me to kind of just avoid doing it. It's probably not necessary to do. And I'm probably just going to end up killing myself if I just go into some fight that I can't handle. So, I'm going to do the smart thing, and I'm just going to X off this area with Shift X E, turn auto exclusion on, and just skip the floor entirely, I think. One cool thing about the game now is that doors no longer get randomly inhibited by tiny daggers and bodies. You can actually push them out of the way now, so it's really helpful for me. You should use that liberally. Alright, now we're on to Depth 5. So, it looks like there's a Randart Amulet, Gourmand Aralek. That's actually quite good. Not as good as MR Triple Plus and Clarity, but, you know, it's very tempting. I might actually keep that simply because I know that Electric Golems are going to be in the game right after this. Do I have natural see invisibility? I do not. Okay. Well, I guess I have to keep this see invis ring. Ring of Wizardry is really not necessary at this point, I believe. I actually have pretty much everything I need for that. I also don't need the Staff of Air if I have the Amulet of Aralek, though it might actually be prudent for me to keep it anyway, and drop the Amulet instead. Simply because the MR Triple Plus from the Amulet of the Four Winds might actually be something you need to have. I can envision a scenario where I see an Ancient Lich on the screen, and I also see an Electric Golem where I'd want to have resistance to both, so I probably will just drop the Amulet. I'll also drop the Ring of Wizardry, it's really not that necessary, and I will also drop the Ring of Protection from Magic, which is, at this point, completely superfluous. Someone asked me in the comments, why did I, in the last video, not value MR Triple Plus as much as plus 2 AC? Well, the main reason why I did that is because I intended for the MR to be a hot swap item, not as a permakeep item, because enemies that... Also, what the hell is going on with my screen? What is this? What? Look, why is my minimap so weird? Is that because... I have no idea what that is. Like, my minimap looks like it has growths on it. It's odd. Well, the reason why I did that specifically is because I felt that MR checking enemies only appear every so often, whereas AC checking enemies appear literally every single fight. So I thought the plus 2 AC was more important. But it was mostly because the Lich itself that paralyzed me, I wasn't expecting to be able to paralyze me, mostly because I was focused on the giant orange brain. This is actually a very dangerous situation, one that I might have to actually haste away from or do something. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to close this area off, and I'm going to blink. Okay, that was very unfortunate. I'm going to use Fear Scroll here. Alright, I'm in a very dangerous situation right now. These enemies can all kill me quite quickly. Okay, I'm going to slow down. I'm very worried now for my safety. I don't have a blink scroll. I'm going to try one more blink. I am going to now fog. So the blink there would either take me to the left or to the right. That was going to be dangerous either way. Unfortunately, the main issue here is the fact that the Air Elementalists are so damn fast, and the fact they have Airstrike. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to read a Scroll of Fog to block line of sight. I'm going to have to kill this guy, I think. I have to kill him somehow. He's going to kill me otherwise. I am hasted, so I'm not super scared. I'm gonna drink one more heal wounds potion. Holy shit. I'm gonna pull upstairs. And there we go. Oh, that was very scary. That was very, very scary. Okay, the main issue that I had there was that I opened the door and immediately got fucked. Because I was immediately in range of a single enemy that could, you know, melee me to death. Then I had a troll pack, a deep troll pack with an earth elementalist, meaning that any wall was dangerous suddenly. Wouldn't be able to run away from them. And I also had 3 enemies that were both faster than me, hitting me with lightning and airstrike, which are undodgeable, and they were also resistant, repelling missiles. So it's just that was a real bad situation. The second I saw that, I immediately slowed my actions down to half. The second I dropped even further in health, I slowed my actions down to about 1/10 of the speed that I normally would play at. Even then, it was still a very risky thing, and I think that hasting should have been an immediate option. But these are very small optimizations. Sorry, they're not very small optimizations, but they're optimizations that I wouldn't have bothered with in a normal game anyway. And this is coming from someone who has played a lot of crawl. So if you are playing slowly enough and this is your first win, do burn those consumables. I saw the fact that I had 5 haste potions left, and I'm like, do I want to burn into those? That was the main reason I'd say why I had to burn all those heal wounds potions. There's 2 extra heal wounds potions that I probably didn't need to. Again, it was a bit of fear that I wouldn't have enough haste for Zot that kept me away from that. But if you're playing at a level where you haven't done this many games, I would suggest strongly that you just burn the haste potion immediately. Say, fuck it, whatever, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna do Zot with like less haste potions, it's fine. I should have done that as well, but, you know, 5 haste potions scares the shit out of me. I mean, it's not too bad, but I'm also thinking about the Orb Run, which has historically completely fucked me in multiple ways. Like, this channel is a testament to that. I have been absolutely boned by the Orb Run, time after time. So much now that even on speedruns, I no longer speed through the Orb Run. I actually manually do the Orb Run now. And that's actually helped me quite a bit, but you know, it's not great. Alright, so there's a caravan on this floor. It'd be great for me to see it. I don't have too much gold, but if I do get it, I'll go in and see what I can get. I'm gonna dig here. Okay, the main reason why I was gonna dig there is because, again, I saw those, I saw that yellow outline, and I was like, okay, that's probably either a caravan or a shop. I want to have line of sight of that, so I can, you know, I can obviously go towards it if it is the shop. I made sure here to stay very far back, even if it means missing out. Oh, excuse me. Even if it means missing out on the potential caravan, I am not gonna play. I'm gonna play it very safely. I'm just gonna sit back, just gonna chill out. Anyone who wants to come at me will come at me. I'm gonna stay at fairly good mana, like decent mana at least. There we go, about half. And I'm just gonna take a quick nip in, kill those guys with the poison arrow, and then go in immediately. Alright, Staff of Olgreb, Wormbane, pretty cool, but not really. They're, first of all, out of my budget, and also not very good for this character. The Wormbane's fine, but the Staff of Olgreb not so much, obviously. I would probably consider actually picking up that Wormbane simply for the RF, RC, RPoise, AC +3. It's a very good weapon in general. Rations are nice to have, but I think we actually have food. Oops, we actually have. Oh, that's interesting. Why is that happening now? For some reason, it's opening up my browser search bar as well. So yeah, we have plenty of food rations. There's no real point in considering that. Oh, has my game crashed? Hello? Oh, okay. Sure, OBS. Thank you for that. That's probably what happened. Anyway, so this is another weapon store. It's really got nothing in it. This is like a general store. Brand weapon, nah. Fear scrolls, possibly, actually. Fear scrolls, depends on how many we have. We have 5, that's plenty now. We don't really need any more. I'll probably pick up these Rune gloves, but we'll see if there's any other shops. No, there aren't. Okay, well, I guess in that case, I'll just pick up the Rune gloves, and that's about it, really. There's no real point in picking up anything else. Don't want to waste too much money. Ah, the gloves of dexterity, excellent. So that's going to give us an extra point of dodging. That's pretty good. And I might just leave now, because there's nothing in here. So, there are 2 types of bazaars, timed and untimed ones. Timed ones obviously are similar to the the regular time portals, and they will give you fairly mediocre to bad like loot that you can buy. Like obviously this one was an exception with Wormbane, but the overall like the number of shops and the general quality is lower with timed portals, I believe. No, sorry, with untimed portals, the ones that just like kind of pop up on the screen and you just find them randomly. Those I think tend to be worse. The ones that are timed are better. There we go. I had them the other way around. Anyway, either way it's fine. We got some good stuff there, but we couldn't afford it all. I think we paid for a lot of stuff, so it's fine. It's not a huge deal. I would say that anything you can't afford should not be like anything you can't afford in a time portal shouldn't be considered like something you found. You just had no choice of getting it anyway. Like it's unfortunate, but you know that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you don't have enough money. You should never hoard money to like make a nest egg for like an item that you might not even see, that one that hasn't existed in the game yet. Just don't do that. Always buy stuff that exists in the game, and don't like be, you know, stingy with the money, because if you run out of consumables, you die, or you'll be put in a very dangerous situation, and that's not good for anyone. So basically just spend your money. That's all you need to do. Alright, being fairly cautious again. Trying to back off to this end location here. Back to the staircase. Had to run away from this Spriggan Elementals. Unfortunate, really. I actually keep this area here as the known rather than this staircase, mostly because it's just annoying to get back to the staircase. If I needed to run in that spot, I'd probably just teleport, or I'd haste out back to the staircase, but I was definitely trying to retreat to this corner, mostly because it's really far away from everything else. Like, if I stood right here, it's very far away from everything else. There's a nice kill hole here that I was standing in. I knew I could retreat towards this area, even if it's not necessarily towards this upstairs here. So I was not necessarily retreating towards the upstairs. I was more retreating towards that that little choke point slash safe corner, I guess. Alright, there's a lot of enemies on the screen that are all dangerous to me. I'm going to go ahead and back off. The Golden Dragon and the Spark Wasp did not notice me, so I'm able to just kind of reset that fight, kill that Yaktor, and then run away and come back. I'm going to actually deal with this Demon Vault here. Normally not too many things. Sometimes there's a Hellfire guy like that. So I want to take care of him in case I get backspawned. I do not want to get surrounded while fighting a Golden Dragon. Or a Gold Dragon, sorry. I don't know why I keep calling him a Golden Dragon. Definitely want to kill this Hellion, so just shoot him down. There we go. Late in depths, they tend to spawn some pretty dangerous stuff, so yeah. Alright, now we can go back. An Etten came into view at some point. There he is. I saw it on the log. I didn't see it physically, but I saw it on the log, so I made sure to run away. This is a situation where I need that stuff there to just kind of make sure I don't die. Spark Wasps should never be underestimated for damage. They can definitely do a good 60 plus a turn. Really not ideal for a character. Look at that. I spent about 2 turns there. Did about 40 damage to me. Pretty scary. Pretty dangerous stuff, honestly. I'm going to pull upstairs here with this Gold Dragon. Oh, it is actually called a Golden Dragon. I wasn't going insane. Cool. I'm going to hit him with Poison Arrow and Orb of Destruction. Obviously, Poison Arrow, he's resistant to poison, so he kind of resists the damage, but it's got a semi-resistible part and it can still poison enemies despite their resistance to poison, which is why I consider it a very good tool for killing enemies. It's fairly effective at taking on enemies at any range. There was that Spriggan Berserker. Thankfully, it didn't have any like anti-magic weapons or anything, but honestly, anti-magic isn't quite as crippling for the player character as it is with monsters. The way it drains your mana is a lot less insane than the way that, you know, regular anti-magic works for us, for the Berserker and stuff. You don't tend to have just like your character just sit there with 0 mana for all eternity until you die. So I guess, like, obviously that would be completely unfair. Like paralysis, for example. It's a mechanic where you just sit there and press enter until you die. It's RNG's chance. Alright, there's a portal to hell. That's fine. I was hoping that was a shop, actually, but, you know, it's all good. I have no real risk of dying to the Actors. I have deflect missiles and pretty decent defense, so I just walk towards them, hoping to get a bit of a better bolt of fire. Still don't want to use Fireball despite the fact that it's depth 5. Simply because the damage ratio at this point isn't worth the noise anymore. Even if it does have a more efficient targeting system, the noise just is the main priority for me at this stage. Alright. Glowing Cloak. Oh, I already have the Scarf of Resistance. RF double plus, RC double plus. Very good for me. Very happy about that, actually. We came into a lot of resistances at a really good stage in the game. This is actually a very dangerous area to be in. I'm going to teleport. Looks a bit weird, especially with 5 teleports left, but Vampire Knights are not to be fucked with. They're, oddly enough, they're an enemy that just sometimes almost kills you every single time. They're invisible. It's really horrible. I don't know what's wrong with them, but occasionally they're just impossible to kill. Sometimes they just die like this. They just like die in 3 casts. Sometimes they do like 95 plus damage and then are at full health still while invisible. And you can't find them and you don't know how much health they're at, and it's just a nightmare to deal with. So that coupled with a bunch of Draconians, which are still enemies that are fairly tough to deal with. They're not horribly tough considering how strong our character is, but you know, they are still a bit of a danger. I just needed to teleport there, get out of there safely. The Vampire Knight definitely could have been dealt with alone had I been hasted, but again, don't want to waste the haste. I accidentally hit the Storm Dragon with my own Orb of Destruction. That's a bit unfortunate, but it's not a huge deal. Just gonna kind of kite around this Bone Dragon until I get enough mana for a good spell. Apparently, Bolt of Fire is not a good spell because it's resistant to fire. Whoops. Well, guess we're just gonna have to do some odd pillar dancing. This looks kind of weird, but it actually does work, apparently. He's just not hitting me at all. Okay, well, we got about 28 mana now. We're probably good. I'm gonna blink here to create some distance. And then when he gets clear of all those pillars, Orb of Destruction a couple of times, and down he goes. Pretty straightforward, honestly. Alright. Now, we have plenty of power on our spells. I would prefer to have a little bit more. So, I mean, yeah, I think the Conjuration's Keep is pretty good. I think dodging can probably go off for now. Shields still somehow isn't being trained to max. It's pretty frustrating, actually, that this is not done yet, but that's fine. I'm going to turn a bit of armor on, just to get a bit more defense, obviously. Conjuration's going to go up a little longer. I mean, we're kind of getting there. Like, we're sort of getting there. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to our 3rd rune. So we need Resist Corrosion. We have one, thankfully. We have a Ring of Resist Corrosion. One mental note that I can make is if you're missing something with a mage, going to Elf could potentially work. It's actually quite straightforward as a mage. You can mostly kill everything that is an issue, even if you are like not really experienced with Elf, which is the main killer of melee characters. A mage can generally just kind of plow through the area and not have to worry about it too much. Because, you know, full screen spells that deal kind of AoE damage is insane. And the damage you're putting out every turn is probably enough to kill an elf in 1 or 2 hits, so you're almost always fine just killing stuff with Bolt of Fire. I mean, I could actually do elf with a mage, just to make that point. But it depends on if I need something. If I feel like if I feel like I don't have enough stuff, I might consider going into elf. I'd be much more willing to put my character to the test in elf than with a melee character, because again, it's just a little bit more straightforward with an elf, with a mage. All right, we've managed to pick up some really nice stuff here. Got some extra free resistances and stuff, extra free consumables. I think it actually might be relevant for me to go ahead and pick up a potion. If I do get... Wow, I have exactly 0 gold. Oh, I picked up 12. Damn. I think it actually might be a good idea for me to, if I get another requirement scroll, just acquire gold. Because if I acquire gold, I basically get all of these potions for free, which means that I get a ton of extra safety, which is going to be very helpful for me. So I put the corrosion resistance on. That's going to make me pretty good against slime enemies. You kind of want to have 1 pip of cold resistance in slime just to have the, just to fight the Azure jellies, or Azure jellies, depending on how you pronounce it. I don't actually know anyone who pronounces it Azure. I always call it Azure, so I don't know. But I'm the kind of person that pronounces lapis as lapis lazuli. No, lapis lazuli. There we go. That's what I call it, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe I'm in the minority, who knows. Either way, slime is pretty straightforward. It's almost identical to how you deal with it as a melee. You just kind of rush through the first 4 floors. You could potentially magic mapping the 5th floor if you feel kind of cool, I don't know. And then you just kind of rush down the boss, the Raw Jelly. Who is a fairly dangerous opponent, but, you know, it's not too bad. I mean, the Royal Jelly has definitely... The Royal Jelly definitely is a pain in the ass for enemies, for people who don't have a really good damage output kind of mechanism. So stabbers do often have a little bit of trouble with them, which is usually why I consider... Oops. Did I just get mutated there? Nope, I didn't. Sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt to fire the Shining Eye. He's absolute priority. The worst thing in the world is getting mutated when you have low mutation potions. You just have no control over what happens to your character. It's really depressing. So if at all possible, you want to avoid any interaction with the mutation system, so you don't have to go through the pain of having a character that is really good on paper, but then the mutations make him just absolute nightmare to play. Just don't do that, basically. I'm gonna shoot at the acid blobs. They tend to be the most dangerous threats. Again, pulling upstairs when I have no mana. Being a little bit more liberal with the idea of having no mana because I know that these enemies can't kill me in a couple of turns. Like, I have pretty decent defense, 27, 21. It's not too bad. I can do a quick, cheeky stair pull or two if I need to. Wow, my arm is really stinging. That burn was a lot more severe than I thought it was. What happened basically was, I have this new, like, convection oven, this little like, mini oven, I guess. And I was like, hey, I feel like having mozzarella sticks, because we bought those from Costco, like, a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I want to try it. So I did that, but the instruction booklet said, turn it over once during your cooking. And I was like, okay, I'll try that. I opened the door of the front, I guess. I don't know what it's called. And I basically just, like, I had this, like, shitty-ass oven mitt. Like, it was really crap. Like, absolute terrible oven mitt. It didn't protect me from anything. It's, like, just terrible. I touched the tray to pick it up so I could pull it out. It burned my fingers. I was like, ah, fuck. I recoiled. I slammed my my forearm onto the hot oven lid or oven thing, and I got like this nasty ass like little gash where it touched. And then I recoiled again, like threw my hand up a little bit, and then it hit the top with my middle finger knuckle on my left hand. So I'm just like burned all over. I'm like, I made an idiot out of myself. So in hindsight, it probably wasn't a good idea to go record and then tell this story because it sounds really stupid. But you know, it's one of those things where you wouldn't tell anyone, but I just told everyone. So you know, that really does tell you how much I value my own image. I don't know. It was kind of dumb, but it was that stupid. It was that dumb. The dumb oven mitt. It just sucked. Like, it was so bad. I don't even know what it's for. Like, it's clearly not for ovens, because if you pick it up, it just doesn't work, right? I probably shouldn't be talking about this during the tutorial. This is why I freaking hate this tutorial sometimes. You just can't say anything. It just sucks. Like, you just have to be on point all the time. But short story mode. My arm's really stinging. I'm just trying to wait it out a little bit. It sucks. Put some ice on it. Probably not good enough. I actually have to probably put another set of ice in it. Another ice pack or something on it. Anyway, going back to Slime. On Slime 4 now. Here's Dissolution. He's a boss. He's really annoying. Make sure to kill any of the eyeballs that he spawns. But usually you can just take him out with Orb of Destruction. Again, why Orb of Destruction is so damn good. You see an enemy at full screen, kill him. As with all pre-boss floors, quote-unquote, you want to clear the entirety of this floor for safety's sake. Not only to reveal the downstairs that you might have to come up at some point, but also just to make sure that the floor is generally clear of monsters, so that if you end up having to come upstairs, you're not going to get surrounded again. It could be a potentially very dangerous area to be in. So I'm going to just stand here on the staircase, just blow a couple of slimes to death. The giant orb of eyes, not too much of a threat to this character, mostly because I have infinity magic resistance, apparently. gonna just walk around a little bit, let this 10 speed enemy just try to attack me through a shield and armor. It's not a huge deal. Go back down the same staircase. I don't really want to blow my opportunity with the other staircase. Attract a lot of noise. Focus the eyeballs down. For some reason, they decided that, and by they I mean the devs. The devs decided, oh, you know what's really fun about paralysis? The fact that it can't be resisted. Let's make an enemy that just irresistibly paralyzes you after a couple of turns. Just, why do we do that? I don't know. Flavor? It's like, I didn't understand that argument when it first came out. Now I still don't understand it. So yeah, just the orbs really suck. The eyeballs. This is why acid blobs suck. They just do so much damage to you. Notice how I have resist corrosion. It's still almost killing me. Like, it took out half my health in 2 swings, pretty much. It's very depressing. Alright, I got mutated so that potions are less effective at restoring my health. That sucks. Like, that's one of the ones that you just want to get rid of, because it makes your consumables a lot less efficient. It really just is frustrating how mutations work in this game. It just... No reliable way of removing select mutations, no reliable way of, like, ensuring that you can even get rid of the mutation at all because you don't have enough mutation potions. Like, sometimes it just is really frustrating to deal with. And now you have shit like this, where I don't want to make noise, so I have to take out one of these guys one at a time, potentially getting up to 2 mutations. It's like, why? It would be so much better if magic resistance, like, protected you against mutation. That would be so, like, it would make sense, too. Like, if only there was something like, some kind of, you know, magic resistance, mutation resistance slot. Like, that would be ridiculous. You'd be able to avoid that shit. It's just so frustrating sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, it really is just the worst thing in the world. I may have made a mistake here. That was not very smart of me. I wanted to get rid of that shining eye. What I'm going to do here is, I'm going to have to just run for it, I think. I'm going to let the raw jelly hit me 1 or 2 times, it's fine. He doesn't hit very hard, or she doesn't hit very hard, or it doesn't hit very hard. It's mostly the enemies that spawns that are dangerous. Huh. I wonder if for the memes I could, like... Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. So if you don't know what I've been doing, what that was, why I just bolt of fired the same place over and over again, like 15 times. What happened there is, I used... To cast my spells quite quickly, I cast a spell once, and then I used the tilde button to repeat the last action that I just did. Unfortunately, I thought I cast ZE enter to automatically aim Bolt of Fire. Instead, I pressed ZE down, which means that I manually aimed downwards with the Bolt of Fire. So when I pressed tilde a couple of times, it just kept firing down the Bolt of Fire. It was kind of dumb. Anyway. I've already forgotten the purpose of this this tutorial run. Clearly this video has not been very tutorial-y. I apologize for that. But, you know, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you kind of lose track of a series this long. You forget what the original flavor was supposed to be. That's fine, though. I'm gonna just stand here to attract these slimes. I want them to come up to me so I can take them out quietly. Alright, I got Berserkitis. That sucks, again. This, like, the mutation system really is quite bad. It's very poorly thought out. In that it's just so weighted to the negative. It is frustrating how bad the mutations that are bad are. Like, they're just the worst thing in the world. I'm not going to engage the raw jelly again. This is why it's important for me to have cleared Slime 4. I'm actually going to go up here and clear this area too. Great, so the second I came upstairs, instantly got mutated, couldn't do anything about that. Complete RNG, had no choice. No way of defending myself against that. It just sucks. Like, imagine if that was, you read scrolls slowly, or something crazy like that, something terrible like that. I would just be in so much pain, just because I can't do anything about it. I'd have to mutate out, getting rid of a ton of my, like, good mutes, the fire resistance being the main one. Like, I'm already considering mutating out. If I didn't have 2 mutation potions left, I'd already have mutated out, like, instantly. Whoops. So I have access to all 3 upstairs now. This is, again, not really... This is for 2 reasons, mostly. The raw jelly is one reason. I want to kind of be able to kite her away. I'm going to shout at her, get her in here. Come on, you can see me. I'm gonna haste myself now, and I will just probably hit her with bolts of fire until she dies, hopefully. I actually might Brilliance one time. Agility and Brilliance. That's going to give me a little bit of extra leeway. Again, this is mostly a DPS race. You're just kind of firing at her and hoping that you can kill her in time. Unfortunately, she's behind that wall now, so I can't really do anything about her. But, gotta wait for her to come back in. There she is. Okay, again, I don't have enough damage to take her out for good. That really does suck. Because now I have to reset the fight. I wasted all my consumables, or I wasted a good chunk of them. Hopefully if I just kind of run around the side, if I can just kind of see her on the way out, that'd be great. I'd just be able to finish her off, but yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Just could not deal with her. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. The book of the spell Ignition, the level 8 fire spell, is a really great way of dealing with slime. Unfortunately, I can't afford any of those. Those are pay to win. I have 12 gold to my name. That is depressing. That is not a lot of gold. Like, unironically, 12 gold to my name. So, I'm going to probably have to just hope for better RNG this time around, I think. I'm not going to haste. I'm just going to teleport if I need to. You know what? I'm going to haste. It's just better to haste, I think. I need to just bolt to fire her down, but she's not going down. This is really frustrating. Come on, just kill her. Like, the only important thing is that I kill her. If I kill her, I can just escape, and I'll be fine. This is really bad. I need to blink. Yep, this is really quite unfortunate. Apparently, we don't have the damage to kill the Royal Jelly right now, which means that we are in a lot of pain, actually. We should be able to do it. Like, it's just a matter of getting the right setup. For some reason, we're just not getting the right setup. I might have to switch to, like, a better staff or something. I don't know. We're just not... We're taking a lot of damage from these guys, and we're not killing her in time. She's just... We're running out of mana before we kill her. This is very unfortunate. So we're gonna have to just kind of clear all the remnants that the Royal Jelly spawned. So, of course, if you attack the Royal Jelly, she summons her Royal Guard. They're actually permanent enemies. They don't give you any EXP, I believe, but... so you can't farm them, of course. But they're just so annoying to deal with. It's just... darn. The best way to fight them, of course, as with all Royal Jelly... As with melee characters, you want to kind of get into this corridor so you don't have to fight all the annoying enemies. I am pretty much screwed. Unless I can kill her really quick. I'm just going to agility, and I'm going to just brilliance. I'm just going to try to just shoot her from a mile away with Orbs of Destruction. That might actually work. Please? Yes, I killed her. Brilliant. Okay. Now that I killed her, I managed to kill her by sniping her with an Orb of Destruction. This is, of course, what I wanted to avoid. Getting just gunned down by 100,000 slimes. That's very just unavoidable, really. I really don't want to haste. I'm just going to TP and hope that I get a good TP area. Alright, great, I'll take that. And now I just have to clean up all the mess that I made. So the thing about the Royal Jelly is that the quicker you kill her, the safer you are. This is going to suck. I need 6 mana. There we go. The quicker you kill her, the more safe it is, because the more quickly you can kind of get out of the... You don't have to like keep fighting all the waves of stuff that she brings out, and you don't burn all those consumables that I just burned. It's a bit unfortunate. I managed to snipe her with the Orb of Destruction at max range, which was just enough that I could finish her off with all my other good stuff. That buckler is really cool, RFRC plus, Dex plus 3, but unfortunately it's got slow on it, meaning it's kind of worthless as a shield. Got a bronze ring here, Staff of Summoning, nah, don't want that. Thankfully we got a couple of haste potions, that's really good for us. Granite ring, let's just check out what these are. Curse ring of loudness, get rid of that. Pewtering glitter, that's not very good, obviously. Poise, strength plus 2 is fine, but it's not great. Plus 1 ring of evasion, not really worth considering at this point. Like, even plus 2 protection is kind of worthless at this point. Book of Dreams. Bjorn's Vile Clutch is pretty cool. Shadow Creature is kind of cool, but again, we don't have enough time to kind of train for those things. Is there anything we've really gotten from this place? I don't really see anything, unfortunately. We've got a couple of, like, decent things, but not an incredible amount of, on Randarts or whatever. Oh, plus 2 bits of flying, that's really good. Plus 2 AC and permaflight, very nice. Pretty much that's it for, Slime, so I guess we just have to go through it. Go for it. Next up is going to be Zot. If Zot proves itself to be too difficult or too much of a challenge, what I'll do is I'll go to take a detour through Elf, hopefully grab a couple of consumables along the way. In fact, I might actually do that now that I have about 440 gold. I'll pick up all these extra consumables, but I'll leave that for another time. Until then, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Possibly tomorrow. Maybe. Probably. Maybe I'll burn myself again. We'll see.